The Caley Thistle Fan Zone on MFR with Iain Auld.
Hello and welcome to the Caley Thistle Fan Zone on MFR. On this week's show, we'll preview the big one. The Highland Derby has arrived. Ross County take on Caley Thistle on Friday night in Dingwall. Along with me to preview this game, two Caley Thistle supporters, John Horne making his debut today as well, and Davie Balfour, a veteran of the podcast. We've also got Paul Chalk from the Highland News alongside us as well. And from the playing department of Caley Thistle, a player, Nick Ross. Good to have you with us once more, Nick, and I do feel sorry for you. Good to have you with us. You, out of all the Caley Thistle players, live closest to MFR, so you could say that you've drawn the short straw by living this close.
Definitely say I've drawn the short straw.
Yes.
I'm happy to help. Happy to help out.
And if you are looking for a move away, can I suggest just, if you don't want to be roped in future, somewhere further away. But it's good to have you with you. It's good to have you with us even. We're looking ahead to the Derby. That's the big one on Friday. Ross County. Let's start off with a neutral point of view before we launch in and tear Ross County to bits. Chalky, Paul Chalk from the Highland News. From a press point of view, looking forward to this one?
Yeah, I think we all are all day. It's the first one of the season, and as Terry Butcher said, this week it comes as the last game in the set of 11. You've played everyone else, and it's been a long time coming. Everyone knows what happened. Sorry, Nick. Obviously in May, the game that Ross County won. It's still fresh in Caley Thistle minds. Being at Dingwall this week wearing my North Star hat as well all day, it was they are still very proud of the record they've got over Caley Thistle. Quite incredible. 2004 last time Caley Thistle won there, but the fact is Caley Thistle are up second in the league in merit, and they're going there with confidence despite what's happened the last 2 weeks with defeats. Of
course, you are a man of many hats as well. You've got to represent the North Star in Rossshire too. You'll be looking after Ross County, no doubt, as well on Friday night. Well, I think it's about time we bring in Davie Balfour. You're itching to get into this one, Davie. It's a game that you've been anticipating for quite a while now, and it's finally come round.
I don't have to wear any hats apart from a Caley Thistle one. And it is the only hat I want to wear. I think, as Chalky says, we're second top of the league on merit, and I think, to be honest, Ross County are second bottom of the league or thereabouts on merit. They've been dire this year, and long may that continue. I hope that continues after Friday. Their team last year was founded on having a really, really solid defence. Hasn't been solid at all this year. I think they were aided a lot last year by the fact that they were playing on a surface that looked like the Sahara. They haven't got that anymore to disrupt teams. I mean, that was the reason we lost in May, I think, was that surface. We couldn't pass the ball. We really couldn't pass the ball through their midfield at all, and we had to resort to a long ball game at that point. It just didn't suit us at all. That won't be the case this Friday. I think Aaron's been saying in the press already that we can pass the ball through these guys, and I think we can this time. I am looking forward to a win.
John, I think we may as well get the big question out of the way already. Caley Thistle favourites?
Always favourites in my mind, whoever we're playing. So, no doubt. Ross County have had decent patches in some games, but they've never sustained it for a whole game, and they'd have to do that to even slow us down, let alone stop us. So I don't see any problems there.
Okay, confidence is always oozing from the supporters. Nick, obviously you have to try and play it down. I'm sure your manager will want to try and play it down, but still you do travel across the Keswick Bridge with a good amount of confidence on Friday night.
Yeah, we've started the season really well, and nobody really expected us to be where we are. I think second in the league's a great position for us, and County have had a sort of slow start, but we're not taking that for granted. We know it's a derby game, so anything can happen, and I don't know what the pitch will be like, but like Davey said, it was bad last year, so it wasn't a good game, but this year we're hoping it's good and we can pass it around and play the game we want to play and hopefully get a win for the fans.
I think we've also skirted around the big issue in the last couple of days. if Caley Thistle got a corner, what's the plans?
That wasn't planned. I don't know where that came from on Sunday. Ross Draper just came up with it out of nowhere. No one knew what was going on or anything, and I've seen it again a few times and I don't know how it didn't stand, so I don't know if we'll be trying it again anyway, but it should have stood in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was legitimate. It was, it was cute, put it that way, what he tried, but it should have really counted, and you have to give, credit to Ross for trying something different.
Yeah, I don't know where he's seen that. I think Liverpool used to do it, so maybe he's sort of tapped into that a bit. Boy Carl Tremarco stays with him. He's a big Liverpool fan, so maybe he's got it in his head one night, just try this. But it worked really well, and I don't know what the linesman was sort of doing, because he thought it had been taken, but he told the Partick player to stay away because it hadn't been taken. And once everything had happened and Aaron scored, then he put the flag up, so a bit strange, to be honest, and we're a bit frustrated, but it's gone now, we can't really do anything about it, so if we try it next time, hopefully it works.
Yes, I think the linesman, fair to say, had a bit of an off day. When you look at the game, obviously, ultimately it was a defeat. It's the kind of perfect game, really, to bounce back in.
Yeah, no better game than the Derby. Last year we had a good few results against them. I missed a few through injury, which was frustrating as well, but in the game I came back, we got beat, so which wasn't good for me, but hopefully this time we can get a win and forget about Sunday, which we're disappointed with. Yeah,
big game on Friday night. It's caught the imagination again, as it always does in the Highlands. Davey, as a supporter as well, you'll obviously be in the press area representing the Caley Thistle media team. Yeah, I mean, Caley Thistle, like John says, have to go in as favourites.
I think they have to. I may not actually go to the press box in this one, because I may end up in the stand on this one. Being chairman of Kelly Jigs Together, it's one game where I'd like to be with the body of the Kirk, as it were. Promising to keep myself out of trouble, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But I harbour a wee urge to do that. So we'll see what happens. But I'd like to be in there. I thought last year, no matter what you thought about the game in May, our fans were magnificent in that game. Absolutely magnificent. They were singing an hour after the end of the game and they couldn't get shot. It was absolutely marvellous. And I'd like to see that again. I'd like to see the same volume, the same passion, the same commitment from the supporters. Of course, I want good behaviour from everybody. But I want to see that passion, that commitment. I think we'll get that. I think we'll get it on the field. I think we'll get it off the field. So, looking forward to it. It should be fantastic.
Yeah, I can still remember, John, the supporters were locked in an hour after the game, still singing and dancing. Ultimately, it was a defeat that ended the Europa League dreams, but those supporters weren't caring, and I think that's the attitude on Friday.
I hate to think how much they would have been celebrating if we'd won that game.
I know.
And the only people that were annoyed with that were the stewards. So every steward lined up in front of them. But fine, that's what they're there for.
Exactly.
They get paid for it.
We're here for a party on Friday, well, hopefully. Chalky, interesting as well that we talk about that defeat at the end of May. The two previous games ended in draws in terms of the campaign. So technically, Ross County are unbeaten on their own soil last season against Caley Thistle. Does that come into things?
Possibly, it could maybe get into minds a little bit, but I think Terry Butcher made the point. We've talked about the pitch, but he said this week, and linking in with Aaron Doran's comments about passing it around county, he feels that the pitch can actually work in Caley Thistle's favour. He wasn't saying that Caley Thistle are a better team. In fact, he went to point out the fact that county have a lot of good passers in their team as well. He's been very diplomatic. He thinks it's set up for a good, entertaining game. Whose favourites? County of the record, I don't know. I'm going to pass on it. Someone else.
You're sitting on the fence.
Yes, yeah,
I know why. Because you'll get North Star readers complaining.
Indeed, yes.
Next week for your biased comments towards Caley Thistle. Nick, obviously, you'll be playing, and hopefully you'll be playing in the game. The guy's talking there about a kind of really attractive looking game with both sets of players able to pass the ball along the deck and the like. We saw Ben Greenhall come into the side last week as well, and I know that many Caley Thistle fans were looking forward to seeing Ben in action. What kind of what a player is he to play alongside?
He's a good player. He's had to be patient this year because obviously we've been doing really well and it's been hard for him to get in, but he's come in. I think he's done really well. Did well when he came on against Tibbs. He's got a really good left foot, puts great balls in the box, and he hit the post on Saturday with his right foot, which I've not seen him hit with his right foot before, but he did really well, and I think if he keeps doing well then he'll stay in the team.
Yeah, and going forward as well, I mean, you're part of that unit attacking wise, and really no fears about any defence at the moment. You'll be confident that you can unlock the county backline on Friday night.
I hope so. We didn't have a lot of chances on Sunday. I think Partick played us quite well and wasn't much space in behind for me to get on the ball, or Billy as well, so that was quite frustrating. But I've seen County this year and they've let in quite a few goals, so hopefully that's a sign that we can get space and create chances, and all we have to do is give Billy half a chance and he'll score, so that's what we need to do.
Indeed, the September Player of the Month as well. Congratulations to Billy Mackay for that one. Davey, looking at the game as a whole then, where's the game to be won for Caley Thistle? Who are the key players?
I'm going to be devil's advocate here, right? And I reckon we should actually go for a really forceful game against County and put two up front. I'd love to see Toby Agdestein up front with Billy and keeping that defence where they should be, which is pinned back. It's not a wide park, it's a really narrow wee park. So having two wide men, as we usually do at home, might not be the best tactic for Friday night. But I'd love to see us go two up front and absolutely batter them. There you are.
Well, there you go.
That's my tactical talk.
Jeez.
It's a bit agricultural.
If Caley Thistle are ever looking for a manager, I suggest Mr. Balfour. John, when we look at County's side this season, okay, they haven't, fits and starts really for them so far this campaign, but when the strikers haven't really scored the goals, a lot of the goals have come from more attack-minded midfielders, Richard Britton, Rocco Quinn, Melvin DeLuve, that sort of thing. Might be a really good game for Josh and Gary Warren at the back to really dominate.
Might be, but also it might be a good game for Ross Drape and Richie Forden, because if they're on top of the game in the middle of the park, these guys aren't going to get into scoring positions, and I think that's where it's going to be won or lost. Middle of the park, if we keep them pressed up in the middle of the pitch, it's going to be our forwards that are making the chances, not theirs.
Yeah, the midfield battle has been key in the last couple of derbies, and maybe the one at the end of the season there when Caley Thistle unfortunately lost a few players due to injury. That it did hinder them. Chalky will try and sit on the fence as pair. What about Ross County? What have they got to offer them on Friday?
Well, I think in recent weeks we've seen Melvin DeLuve really come into his own. He's settled at Ross County. He's getting a lot of praise from the supporters and his teammates about the impact that he's having. Richard Britton, you've mentioned, he's continues to be consistent and a goal threat. Those are the key two. County are throwing in some strange results along the way, because they tend to one bad week, one good week, and normally when they have a good week, it leads to a shutout, and the defence are pretty strong, and that's what they'll be hoping for this week, that they do keep it tight at the back. But in terms of going forward, I think you've got to look at Delu. Darren Matson come on, I should say, and replaced Ivan Sproul, who was injured at Kilmarnock after sort of 20 minutes, and he apparently played very well against Kilmarnock, so they might look towards him to try and open Caley Thistle up, because County fans and the glimpses they've seen from him have been impressed.
Yep, County losing at the weekend to Kilmarnock as well, both sides going into the derby with defeats. Does that make any difference, the fact that both sides will be keen to bounce back in this one, Davey?
I don't know. I don't think it does. I think this particular game has a dynamic of its own. And while I listen to what Chalky says, he must get a painful rear end from sitting on that fence all the time. But
it's
tough at times. I know.
Sometimes you've got to.
I realise that completely. but hey, I'll tell you, the things that give me hope are their central defence. The big lad, Scott, which is his name at the back, has never been that mobile. I've never known Dundee United fans to be so glad to get rid of anybody as they were to get rid of Brian McLean. The forums were full of it at the time. They haven't looked particularly strong at the back. I know Grant Monroe's left and going to Pastors New, which is fine, but I think they've got weaknesses that we can exploit. It takes on a dynamic of its own. Nick will know that the fans here are, well, the fans at our club, especially this is a game they want to win. This is a game we need to win. And there's a big expectation there, which I fully expect the players to live up to.
Nick, expectations from the supporters?
No pressure.
No pressure at all on you.
So no pressure there then.
But yeah, you have had good experiences in the derby in the past. even last season, there was a couple of wins in there, even draws that felt like wins.
Yeah, especially the 3-3 game,
yes.
The cup game, that certainly felt like a win. And the first game when we played them at home, and it was 2-1, 3-1, 3-1. Yeah,
Friday night game as well.
Yeah, that's right. So that sets us in good stead, really. And yeah, we've just got to look after ourselves, really, not worry about their new players or what they're doing. Really, just focus on ourselves and with the fans behind us, like they always are, especially away from home. We've been really good this season, and over in Dingwall where it's really tight and you can really hear everything from the pitch. So we're looking forward to that and play well with a better atmosphere like Celtic showed last night. So looking forward to it. You mentioned the tightness of the pitch. Any dodgy shouts from the Ross County locals? To me? Yeah. No. Well, maybe there was. I didn't hear. You're too focused. I've had a few shouts down the years. Not at County. Called a skeleton once at Hearts, which was one of my first years playing. That was interesting. But you do hear it sometimes, like if there's a break in play. But it's just funny sometimes. Like, of course, because Tynecastle's quite like Victoria Park, very like it. In the sense that it's very close to the park. Oh, well, never mind. hope you get them back someday. Terry's always one to focus on your own strengths, so he's always keen to stress that to the players as well. And I guess he's a manager who's experienced a lot of big derbies over the years, and this one's no different. And he will be saying to you guys, no doubt, listen, just focus on your own game, play your own game, and that should take care of them. Yeah, he says that every game. To be fair, if we get too focused on what the other team's doing, then we forget what we're doing ourselves and don't play the game that we have been doing, and we've been winning from doing it. So there's no reason to be sort of worried about other teams. Just keep doing what we've been doing, and we're second in the league on merit, so just keep going. As a local lad as well, does it make it a bit extra special to win a Highland Derby? Yeah, it does. I used to go through to them when I was younger, so I've got a lot of good memories of going through there and the home games as well. So it is a big game for the fans, and some fans probably won't even care about it last Sunday as long as we win on Friday. So it's a huge game, and we want to win for them. It's bragging rights, isn't it, at the end of the day as well? I mean, that's what supporters travel to these games are looking for, be it a 1-0, scrape a 1-0 win or a 4-0, what have you. Supporters want that bragging rights, Davey.
Of course they do. That's why they go to football matches. They definitely want to be one up on the county contingent at their work. I mean, I'm exactly the same. I've got a couple of meetings in Ross next week that I will be wearing my club tie at. If we win,
yes, I was going to say
if we win, yes. But no, come on, that's what exactly. That's why football's so appealing to so many people. That's why it appeals to the big kid in you every time. You get the bragging rights. You can do this stuff. You're king of the playground for the next until the next fixture comes round, and that's what everybody wants to be, grown men or not. So yeah, bragging rights is dead important.
John, any meetings in Rossshire next week that you're going to wear your Caley Thistle colours to?
No, but my boss is a county fan, so I'll be wearing my tie, win, lose or draw.
Right, well that's that's an interesting approach as well, because if you lose the game you're still showing
loyalty to the boys.
And we'll get you next time.
Yeah, okay. Exactly, and we're still ahead in the league.
I've got a funny feeling that there'll be a lot of banter flying around before Friday. Indeed, there is already, and afterwards as well. But that's the great thing, Chalky, isn't it, about this fixture? You know, sometimes we get too caught up in the derby thing, and there are a few derbies in Scotland that, you know, I'm not going to mention names, but there are a few that bring with them some violence as well. But this one is good-natured fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a break from all that, and I think both managers have commented in that when interviewing them over the years that's something they really enjoy about this occasion, that the fans do, you know, generally get on with each other. They share the banter after the game, and you know, that's it is unique in Scotland, and the fact that both teams are punching right at the top end of the table as they were last season says a lot for the way the clubs have been run and conducted, and the supporters are part of that success.
Well, here's to a good game on Friday, let's put it that way. A bit unfair to ask Nick and Chalky predictions on the game. We do normally...
It's not unfair for him.
Let's go on the spot, of course. That's a good point, Nick.
He usually puts one in
0-0 for him, probably.
He usually puts
a score draw. One of them.
A score draw.
Yeah, normally we obviously get the predictions of Don, Andy, Davey and Jack, but only Davey of the regular crew are here. But I think Don might be here in spirit, some way, shape or form. Yes. Not that he's dead on anything. He is live. I must stress that he's alive. Predictions. Let's have a stab at trying to predict the outcome of Friday night's score. Davey, I'll start with yourself.
Just to confound that dreadful BT advert with the two stags on it, I'm going for 2-0, one for each stag. 2-0 us, of course.
Okay. John?
Well, I'm always a bit wary of pre-match predictions, because on the bus to Aberdeen we picked up a wee boy at Elgin, and I asked him what was the score going to be, and he said 55-0. So I'm not going for that, but 3-0 would be my prediction.
55-0, I can't even imagine.
He got that one slightly wrong, I have to say.
That'd be worth a club DVD though if it were to happen. You'd be celebrating
Special
that forever.
edition.
55-0. I wonder what the odds are on that. Chalky, we're going to put you on the spot here, and we're going to ask you for a prediction. I think there's a splinter removal kit over there as well. Have a stab at that, Chalky.
Yeah, I mean, County have, they're either winning or losing games at the moment, and you're looking at me thinking, oh, here comes their first draw of the season. But you know, they've got that unbeaten record for a reason in Dingwall. They've beaten good teams there this year.
Well, it's Aberdeen.
I think if anyone, I'll put it this way, if anyone is going to win it, I would think Caley Thistle, because they've got more sort of firepower, and Billy Mackay, has had another tremendous start to the season. So if anyone is going to win it, I think it'll be the visitors.
Well, that was a good answer. I think that was an acceptable answer. Yeah. I think we'll take that. Each week on the show, we're also looking to compile a Caley Thistle Dream Team. We're looking for a central midfield partnership. Now, in the team already, we have in the wide positions Barry Robson and Barry Wilson. So we're looking for central midfielders. A back four. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have...
We've got a dream back four at the moment.
Well, you funny mention that, but Graham Shinney and David Raven are two in there. I think we've gone for Bobby Mann and Grant Munro getting there.
Aye.
And Jim Calder's the goalie, that's it. Yep.
That's got to be.
Done my research. So central midfielders, we'll give you guys a chance to come up with a few if you can.
No need for thought for me. First name on my team sheet was always Russell Duncan.
Good shout. Yep.
Aye.
I'll take that as a suggestion.
Every time. Not only for what he did in midfield, but he was always a last ditch defender as well when needed, and whenever anybody was in trouble, he was always available to take an easy pass.
A kind of guy who went about his work, but didn't always get the credit he deserved.
He played a bit like Neil Lennon, but didn't get the respect that Neil Lennon got as a player.
But less ginger.
Yeah, less ginger and a nicer personality.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll take that, yeah. Good shout for Russell Duncan. Any other suggestions for the centre of midfield? You played? Did you play with Russell? Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. What was he like as a player?
Very good, yeah. I think he, like you said, he didn't get the credit he deserved. It seemed to be when he left that everyone sort of realised what a good player he was, which was a bit annoying for him. But I thought he was really good. He helped me when I came through, helped all the younger ones as well, and he was a really good player in training and games. So it's a good shout.
I think as well. Charlie Christie, you've got to mention Charlie Christie in there. He's got to be in there.
Yeah, man of the match, number 10.
Aye.
You knew that was going to
Every
happen.
game.
Every game.
So you've got to think of Charlie in there.
We have played 4-4-2 as well, so we'll go with 2 central midfielders. So yeah, Charlie Christie, a very good shout again. Nick, a guy who no doubt you've worked with and come up through the youth ranks as well.
I haven't worked with him actually.
Have you not?
No.
Well, there you go.
I know.
Sensational.
I used to go watch him play, but I've never
Yeah.
been coached by him or he was first team manager, but I wasn't sort of anywhere near that at the time, so I didn't get to work with him. But he seems to do well with the youth team. So,
but watching him as a fan back in the day as well, always aspiring to be, break through into the team like Charlie Christie.
yeah, he's a player who had a lot of skill, which is what I liked about him, and he did win a lot of Man of the Match awards. Seemed to be every game. I don't know if his mate was voting or what was going on, but
I think it was decided beforehand.
I
If he was
thought,
on the team sheet, he was man of the match.
Yes.
That's the way it seemed. But another shout maybe is David Bingham.
Aye, bingo, aye.
He brought a lot of skill to the side and incisive passes.
Yeah, a guy who went on to, was it Livingston afterwards as well? So he had a good career.
Aye.
Certainly did do well at Caley Thistle.
Aye.
That's like 3 good shouts.
That's
The current guys as well. We have
Nick
talked about
Ross.
Nick Ross.
not going to ask.
5 years time, that'll be what we're saying. Nick Ross.
Well, that's it. We have looked at the current side already this season. We've thrown
I know.
Shinnie and Raven in there. There are a few guys who we might look back in a couple of years' time and say, yep, definitely, yeah.
The one thing I'd really like to know from Nick, right, was the photographs he got of Big Draper, right, at that corner flag. He looked absolutely bonkers. Is he that mad? Aye, did you see them?
yeah.
Is he really that mad?
No, he was mad at the time for doing that corner. I did see that again. His face makes me laugh.
He just looks bonkers.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy
That's
you
like
wouldn't want
brilliant.
to mess with, though, eh?
No,
on the field, he's a big guy.
Great player, incredible engine on the bloke, and amazing extendable legs.
Catch your legs, that's it.
He's got his telescopic legs, I think Terry calls them. Either son, definitely. And if you're then going back, you're looking at you're beginning to look at guys like Richie almost. Like Richie Horne, who I reckon in that central mid is just sitting in there finding his, I think the best form of his career possibly this year. In some games,
It's a fair shout, yeah.
when Richie's
has
been playing well, he has been playing incredibly well.
Yep.
And he is a man who I think deserves a lot of credit for putting this club where it is now. So if you are looking for somebody for a dream team, Richie Horne's probably Richie Horne has to be in there.
He's in there
Because
as your captain,
he's
if
brought
nothing else.
Yeah, and he's brought so much to this team. He, I think, has been instrumental in bringing us to a standard where we can attract people into the team. He has simply made us better, and that, to me, gets you into a dream team.
Okay. Chalky, any other suggestions, names you might want to add to that? I mean, even if we take Duncan, Christie, Foran, and who was the suggestion? Bingham, yeah. Take 4 of these guys. Suddenly, if you're a manager, you're looking at a selection headache.
Yeah, that's some midfield, isn't it? And I can see why every one of them would make that lineup. And the only other one that I would maybe add to it, and he wasn't at Caley Thistle that long, is Don Cowie. I mean, he went on to get play for Scotland, and who knows, he changed times at Scotland in the moment with Gordon Strachan. he might come back into the fold, but he was great at both sides of the Keswick Bridge, and I thought his contribution was tremendous. But when you look back, I think out of all the ones mentioned, I have to agree that with John, that David Bingham was so instrumental, a key time in Caley Thistle in pushing towards the top flight, and he came in and he could you could see what he was thinking, the way he could open up teams. So great suggestions all around, but I would add Don Cowie to it.
Okay, well, who are we going with then? I think Charlie Christie has to get in there.
It's got to be.
Charlie Christie has to be in there.
Like I said, I would always have Russell Duncan first pick on my team sheet before anybody else.
Russell Duncan, another kind of long time kind of serving player. I think Russell Duncan gets in there, doesn't he?
Okay.
David's not having that out.
He's maybe not.
No, fair enough.
Maybe not as attacking, but he gives you more options.
Fair enough. That's
Right,
okay.
So they are central.
The only thing you need to do to Russell to improve him is to put a zip on his lip at times when he's near the ref.
They're our central midfield partnership. Next week on the show, we'll look ahead to the game with Kilmarnock at home. Fingers crossed on the back of a Derby victory, and we'll also choose a front two as well. No doubt, I'm looking forward to the suggestions for strikers who will be our firepower in the team. My thanks to Nick, Chalky, John and Davey. We'll see you next week.
The Caley Thistle Fan Zone on MFR with Iain Auld. Listen again at mfr.co.uk/Caley Thistle.